what do you think is? Do you think his game plan changes? Like, what do you think they do to keep Nick Chubb out this game? Is it, hey, we're gonna stack the box and make somebody else beat us, or is it gonna be, we're gonna be as aggressive as possible about getting these turnovers to let the score dictate what you do?
I think that.
So you guys know, before every game, I get the perspective of the other team. I got a break. Usually I'm out here scrolling through different podcast worlds and trying to go through other teams' Twitters to find people. I don't got to look hard to find a Graven. And Graven almost has 60K subscribers almost right there, man. Like, I'm just saying, like, he about to get that 100K plaque pretty soon, hopefully. But he's grinding every day towards it. While he's grinding, he is also watching his Ravens. How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm really good. The Ravens, they not really good, but I'm doing really good. And appreciate you having me on, man.
It's interesting, right? And I think just because I do AFC North talk, I'm exposed to other teams' fan bases, especially other teams in the AFC North. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is, I don't think Browns fans understand that Raven fans feel just as bad about coming into this game as we do, right? And I don't think Raven fans understand that we don't feel good about this game either. Like, I think we're both going into it pretty demoralized by what we saw last week, that we're not even realizing we both demoralized. And this is a big game, right? You win this one, the Ravens win, you're 2-0 in the division. The Browns win this one 2-0 with the chance to go 3-0 against the Bengals at home on Monday night. And all of a sudden you clinch being over 500 in the division. Like, you cooking with something, right? But we've been so affected by what happened the week before. The Ravens, I think it was like that fourth quarter collapse in 3 weeks. Well, I think even 4. Well, 3 weeks, because the Bills was a collapse a little bit.
The Bills, the Dolphins,
yeah, and then last week against the Giants. So I think we have lost perspective that, like, both these teams don't feel great, and we might not see what we think we're going to see on both sides of this, right? But how are Raven fans feeling coming into this game? Is it about what it's been?
It's we just frustrated with the, I guess it is consistency. I was going to say inconsistency, but it's really consistency because the Ravens have been just consistently blowing it. Literally in every single game this year, not just the losses, but in every single game this year, the Ravens have held double-digit leads at some point. Every single game. And then the games that are highlighted the most with that are obviously the Dolphins, Bills, and Giants game, because those are the ones that they lost. There's a statistic that the Ravens have been trailing for a total of 120 seconds this season. So you've been trailing for 2 minutes this whole season, and you're 3-3. So it's just another reminder how football is just a game of inches. Everything matters that much more. But this team is, they just seem to not necessarily be spiraling out of control, but I feel like they're close to that, and they really need to get a grip like ASAP, because things could unravel really quick. There's been just a lack of, there's been a lot of there hasn't been enough discipline. The team is very undisciplined. Before a lot of stuff, even before you talking about execution and whatnot, these penalties, it's a lot of silly penalties. False starts, that's something that's that is an issue, but silly stuff like illegal formation.
It's been like a thing since Greg Roman got there too. It's like these like consistent illegal formation, man downfield, ineligible receiver, not getting set. That's a big one in that offense for whatever reason. Like, people just ain't getting set. It's uncovered tight end or covering the tight end on a formation, so you have your tackle accidentally cover up the tight end, which is illegal formation again. Like, it's just, I watch the Ravens a lot, and it's like, man, this stuff keeps happening.
Right, and that's some of our biggest frustrations, just the silly stuff. So that's obviously a coaching thing. Lamar this year, he started off really hot. He was going crazy the first couple of weeks, and then things just started to slow down. And then, like last week, there've been some times with Ravens with their offense, especially their passing offense. Since their passing offense doesn't normally have the volume of a normal passing offense, a lot of times, everything, especially all the bad stuff, it gets emphasized that much more. Like last week or 2 weeks ago against the Bengals. On the same drive, he missed a deep pass that would have been a touchdown to Devin Duvernay. Then a couple plays later on the fourth down, he missed a touchdown wide open to Tylan Wallace. And those got emphasized because obviously those are touchdown plays. That's points. But the Ravens, they weren't passing the ball like that, and they weren't passing the ball downfield like that. So it makes it even worse. And then last week, the Ravens are up 20-17. Tyler Linderbaum, rookie center, he does a bad snap. It's off to the right a bit. And it looked like Lamar's timing was off too. It looked like he wasn't even ready for it yet. But Lamar chases the snap down because it's a fumble. Lamar chases it down, picks it up, and is looking, and he throws it in double coverage. So the bad decisions, like you can't do stuff like that because the Giants, they ended up picking it off. And they took it. They didn't take it to the house, but they got a nice return, and then that set them up for a go-ahead touchdown. So just Ravens got to be better at finishing, man. They got to be so much better at finishing because that's been a real weak point for them this year.
Yeah, finishing games. What would have been, because the Browns, we worry about some things. I mean, I talked about it on your channel, by the way. Shout out Engraven. Make sure y'all go check out his channel so you can see the video I did on his. But we talked about this kind of about the Browns defense just being really poor and run stopping, right? Like especially that. The linebacking play has not been good. Now, when I hear that from my perspective, the linebacking play hasn't been good. They haven't been disciplined. I think, oh my goodness, Greg Roman might run for 300 yards on us, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like that, because if your linebackers aren't disciplined against a Greg Roman offense, like, you know, I know he's getting a lot of flack right now, and, you know, I think some of this is deservingly so. But when it comes to the run game, there's no argument. Greg Roman is good at that run game, manufacturing stuff. For the most part, I know the Ravens haven't had the averages and the efficiency on the ground that they want outside of Lamar Jackson, but it might not matter because I'm worried about Lamar breaking the big one, right? Has he athletically been able to still be that same Lamar when he tucks and run? Or is this a situation we see with a lot of quarterbacks who, like Cam Newton and everybody else, once they get to a certain part to where they want to get paid, they start not taking as many chances when they tuck that ball and sliding more?
Yeah, he's still been able to do his thing on the ground. I know depending on the situation, sometimes it's made a lot of fans think like, man, well, Lamar could have just took off right now, but he's thinking about the money. He's thinking about the contract. But I just don't think it's been that. He's been somebody that said throughout the years that he wants to pass more and run less. And throughout these past couple of years, he has been doing that. But at the same time, Lamar has been the Ravens for the most part this year. I know last week, Kenyon Drake, he went off. But over the past 6 weeks, for the most part, the majority, Lamar has been the Ravens' run game. And I think right now he's like 5th in rushing right now, something like that, in rushing yards in the league. So it's not a bad thing, but at the same time, it's not a good thing, in my opinion. It's like one of those things where your quarterback shouldn't be the one to have the most rushing yards on the team, even if it is a mobile quarterback. I was just hoping
attempts to the last 2 seasons, I believe.
I was just hoping that this year that the Ravens would certainly get a lot more from their running backs. And it could be on the way. We'll see, because J.K. Dobbins still working his way into the mix. Justice Hill, who had been Ravens' best running back overall this year so far, he should be back. Gus Edwards, he's working his way back. He could be back any day now. So they're getting their guys back. And again, they still got Kenyon Drake, got Mike Davis, but they don't really use Mike Davis as a runner anymore. Last time they used him as a runner was in the Dolphins game, and he just kept getting smacked and stopped, and they never looked back, never used him again as a runner from that point moving forward. But you just want to see from Lamar, or from the Ravens offense, you just want to see it be somebody else too, not just Lamar. Well, Lamar got to do this, that, and the third, but let it be somebody else.
So if you're John Harbaugh and this Ravens team, you look at this Browns team, how they've been playing. Um, how do you think they're going to come out and try to attack them?
Mm. I think it'd be important to really test that run defense, because it could work in your favor a couple ways. I know you told me that the Browns, they've been struggling with their run defense. The Ravens been struggling with their run offense. So in this game, like, something's got to give. Mm-hmm. So you test it out early. I think this should be a big game to really display Devin Duvernay. With Rashad Bateman, he's missed the past couple of games with an injury, so we're not sure if he'll be back for this one yet. We'll see. But this, I think this will be a real big game for Devin Duvernay. It should be. The Ravens they have so many different ways that they can use him. They can use him as a runner, obviously as a receiver. And you have so many different options with a Devin Duvernay. So it's important that the Ravens, and of course Mark Andrews too, but it's important that the Ravens really they come out, they get hot, but they stay hot. Because with the Ravens this year, they've came out hot, they've gotten hot, and in the second half, they've cooled off a lot. So it's important that in this game, even if Ravens get a lead, like, we're just not comfortable with that as Ravens fans, because we've seen this team get leads every single game, but we also seen them give away leads in half of the games. So it's important that just the Ravens, to take advantage of them Browns, just remain consistent with putting up points. The Browns have Jacoby Brissett right now. They don't have their starting quarterback yet. Got 4 more weeks?
December
week 11,
4th.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
6 more weeks.
Okay.
He would be back if the original suspension was held up. Right. This was supposed to be his first game, but we gotta wait till December now because they extended it. So yeah. Interesting thought to think about. During this game, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what could have been, but with Jacoby Brissett, you want to put more pressure on him, because backup quarterbacks, they're normally not asked to do what the starting quarterback does. Why? Because they're the backup and they're not the starter. So you would want to, as a Ravens, you would want to put more pressure on him to try to play catch up. You would want to put more pressure on him to have to throw the ball, because you don't want Nick Chubb to be involved in the game at all. Even though Nick Chubb is going to be involved in the game, you want to try to remove him from the game as early as you possibly can. So that means just stopping that run game early. And then when you get the ball, you have to score touchdowns, not field goal. Field goal is not going to cut it, man. You got to score touchdowns.
I know one of the complaints about McDonald, the new defensive coordinator down there in Baltimore, is he's not as aggressive as Wink used to be, right? Where I think I like watching Wink defenses enough. Wink's game plan would be, I'm going to get an interception in the first half, right? Or a fumble or something. We're going to turn this ball over, get up 10 or at least a double digit, and then that way the Browns can't run the ball, right? Like that would be 100% the Wink Martindale, I'm going to blitz you till you fumble type thing, right? Where I don't know with Tom, right? Tom's a little bit more, I don't think he's as passive as Raven fans make him out to see. When you get Wink for like a long time and you're used to somebody blitzing at the top of the league, somebody who blitzes like in the middle of the league, going to seem like he's not aggressive at all. But, what do you think do you think his game plan changes? Like, what do you think they do to keep Nick Chubb out this game? Is it, hey, we're going to stack the box and make somebody else beat us? Or is it going to be, we're going to be as aggressive as possible about getting these turnovers to let the score dictate what you do?
I think they will really try to do whatever they can to stop Nick Chubb. Something that they've been doing a lot this year is giving up a lot of the short passes, the dink and dunk type of stuff, but really not trying to get beat over top. Because that first, that Dolphins game, they kept getting beat over top. And even in the Patriots game that was in week 3, I believe, they got beat on some deep passes in that one. But ever since then, against the Bills, against the Bengals, and against the Giants, there ain't been no deep passes. So they've taken that all away. But I think here, since you have such a dominant runner in Nick Chubb, you can't just play for the deep pass because you got somebody that can kill you with the run game. So I think they will bring guys up to really try to take Nick Chubb out, bring guys up to really try to stop him. Because like I said earlier, you want to remove him from the game so you can try to force the Browns to be one-dimensional as much as you can. And if you can get a turnover, hey, that would be great. But you got to make sure. I just want to see the Ravens try to capitalize on every single opportunity because they haven't this year. They've missed a lot of opportunities. In some games, they missed opportunities and still won. Other games, they missed opportunities and they end up losing. So you don't want this game to be close. You don't want it to come down to the wire. You want to win this thing decisively, not only to get a win, but just really to build up the team's confidence, because I think things are a little bit shaky right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. I think I watched this Ravens team a lot, and y'all got like my all Quincy team in the interior. You got my boy Justin Matabuke in the D tackle room. Y'all got Travis Jones. I'm like, y'all got all the defensive tackles that I wanted. Y'all got them, man. I'm just sitting here with one guy I like, Perion Winfrey, who not ready yet. Just looking at that jealous. I'm like, come on, we couldn't have took Matabuke. We couldn't have took one of my guys. It's okay. I guess we could throw that. We got Amari Cooper for a 5th round pick in Raven fans.
Yeah.
That one had to be like, come on, man. That wasn't even expensive.
Right. I know they had to redo the contract, but still, man, like a 5th round, like, come on, man. But, yeah, it is what it is. But Matabike, he been doing his thing this year. He been playing pretty good this year. So and the thing,
Campbell ain't had to do much, you know.
It's been able to give him some breaks. Because the thing with Matabike is that when Ravens first drafted him, we saw flashes here and there. But the thing with him, he was not getting the playing time. So we would see flashes, but we would be like, all right, we want to see more, but he wouldn't have the opportunity to even give more. But now he's got a lot more opportunity, and he's been delivering for the most part. So he's been pretty good.
Yep. Was he 3rd year?
Yeah, 3rd year. He got drafted in 2020.
It's gonna be interesting, man. Y'all got some good things going. Y'all got some things that aren't that great going, but it's interesting. These two teams converge. And I feel like this always happens when the Ravens and Browns play each other. That we converge at these awkward times. I remember the 2019 was the most interesting one, right? Because we played y'all in 2019. Things weren't going well. We beat y'all by like 20 points.
Oh yeah.
That game. That was the Nick Chubb game in
Baltimore.
This is in Cleveland though. This time, right? This game, right? Was this in Baltimore this week?
I think it's in Baltimore. You know,
honestly, I hope it's in Baltimore. We've been terrible at home. I think it is at Baltimore.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah, so it's at Baltimore. But I remember in 2019 we played y'all. It was so bad that that's when Peanut had to go, had to be benched for LJ Fort. Y'all had to make a move there because he just wasn't staying in his run fits, and y'all had to stay. I remember watching. It was like 12 Raven fans on the stream with Dick Raven. They was doing the State of the Union address or something like that. And I was like, oh, and then the Ravens ended up not losing another game for the rest of the season after that.
Hey, man, we might have to run another one of those if that's what it takes. We might have to bring everybody back on the stream for real.
I was like, why? Never seen a YouTube team meeting like that. That was a players only meeting. You know what I mean? We might have to do one. I might have to call one for the Browns, to be honest. We might have to call a players only meeting because it's getting bad. So, Engraver, thank you for coming on, man. I know you're big time 60K, but let them know where to find you at, man.
No, we're not big time, man. You can find me Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, everything is Engraven Viz. So I appreciate you as always. Happy for just everything that's been going good for you, man. With the channel, just life in general, man. So keep doing what you've been doing. And let's hope for. Well, I mean, I don't want to see a close game on Sunday. I just want to see a blowout.
I
man.
feel like it's inevitable.
Yeah,
I feel like this
it
is
probably
inevitable.
is.
Both these teams have not played in blowouts. Like it's unless like they are on the receiving end of it. And I don't think the Ravens got blown out yet. The Browns did. But now even then we almost came back in that game and then just pitifully messed up an onside. Anyways, just I have conceded that every game we're gonna play this year is close, and the Ravens are kind of on that same track. This thing gonna end. This thing going to end, I hope not in a field goal, because we know who wins that game if that happens. This thing's not going to be over till like 2 minutes, and we're going to get constant. You know how the stream goes, too. Whenever your team is about to lose, that's when everybody wants to hop on yours.
Yeah.
300 more people in here. I'm like, oh, where are y'all at? You know what I mean? Y'all weren't here when we went up 14. You know, stream was just the homies right here.
That's real right there, man. Every time, never fails, man.
Every time we go down, I look over the stream count like, yep, here they come. Here they come. The numbers going up. Oh, my goodness. So you know it's gonna happen because we both stream it, so it's just gonna happen this week. But man,
yeah, man,
appreciate you coming on. Y'all check out Engraven. Maybe you could be his 60,000th subscriber. Maybe you could be that. It's crazy, man. Crazy. I remember when we both. Well, I was under 10K. I believe you was at like 20K or something like that. Crazy. We've been doing this a while. I guess we owe
man.
to this game, man. But y'all have a great day. Have a good night.